Hey.
Hey!
So my name is Benjamin Finn. Please call me Ben. I am American, born, raised in Texas, but I'm half Canadian also. So I've been here for almost 2 years. My Burmiversary will be like beginning of October, so getting close. Um, my purpose. So it was a little weird. I was backpacking for a while, about 18 months, across Europe, Asia, and a little bit of Africa, a little bit of Middle East. Um, and then I came to Myanmar, and I really fell in love. You know, this was such an amazing place. Not with the person, I fell in love with the country. Such an amazing place. The people were so nice. I saw so much opportunity here for business, for everything. You know, and I really wanted to learn more about the culture and the food. So when I was done backpacking, I came here in search of a job, and I started work here for a while, and then me and my business partner Anders, he convinced me to sort of start a business here, and so we've been doing a variety of things since then. So my favorite things of Myanmar. There's really so many things, but the first thing that pops in my head is the people, and I'm sure you must have heard this before, but the people here are the kindest and some of the most honest people I've ever met. You know, it's a small thing, but it's a funny thing to me. My business partner just went to this little tea shop, not even tea shop, just a little kiosk, just outside, and he got Shan noodles, and they gave him in the metal bowl that belongs to them, and he's just like, I'm just going to take this and come back. And he just walked off with their metal bowl, and I guarantee you they don't care because they trust him to bring it back. And no other place in the world, if I was in a bar that I had spent a year in and they knew me, and I tried to walk out with one of their plates in the US, they'd jump on me and they'd be like, excuse me, Ben, you got to leave the plate. You can't take it. And that to me is just so beautiful. The trust and the honesty, because when someone trusts you, you feel obligated to reciprocate. You know, I think the trust makes the country more trusting, and that's beautiful to me. When it comes to food, you know, I actually really love spicy food. So Rakhine food is my favorite. When we go to the Rakhine seafood restaurants and I can get some really spicy food, oh, that's fantastic. Although I gotta admit, Shan noodles will forever be in my heart because they're just, I don't know, it's just a really nice little treat. Um, I think I also really love the rain. The rain, yeah. I know a lot of people hate the rain, but for me, rain has always been something a little romantic, idealistic, um, and you know, it's really nice when it rains. Sometimes I even just walk in the rain and get completely wet. But you know, I gotta watch out for my phone and laptop. But it's really nice. I haven't watched any Myanmar TV, I'm afraid, so I don't really have anything in that category. Actually, another thing that I really like here is the people's passion. I think there's a difficulty here in getting the right training and the right knowledge, which is why there's been a history of importing, you know, foreigners and paying them substantial wages, ludicrous wages. But I think the education in here, it's improving constantly. And I see, I have some young Myanmar people that actually work for me, and while I can see that they lack kind of formal training and formal experience that you might get, the practical stuff you would get in other countries in the West, no one can beat them for their passion and their desire to learn, which is just so much better here and so refreshing. And I really want to work with them to improve their knowledge and give them any opportunity I can. We try and do some consulting actually around IT, market research, and a few things. But I try and involve them in everything, even when they're so out of their depth, and I can tell. I just go to them and say, "Do you want to learn this?" And they jump all over it, and they're like, "Yes, please." Even though I have to fix a lot of stuff at the beginning, they want to learn, and they learn fast. I think some of the problems I've had, actually, in the same category of the weather, is the heat. It really gets me. I love walking, but when I just walk 10 minutes and I'm drenched in sweat, it reminds me of Texas in a bad way. But other than that, there's a lot of anade, which is very tough for me. I have to coach my people, my team, on being really upfront, and they're getting really better about it. But there's a difference between saying, "Oh, you're a complete jerk," and "Oh, this would be better." Going the positive. Like there's a term called lower looping and upper looping, and lower looping would be, "You're a jerk. I don't like you," and that doesn't have any place in business, and it's not even a great thing in personal. But upper looping is like, "Listen, maybe we could communicate better if you actually told me this and came about it this way. While I'm not thrilled when you do X, I would enjoy it. I understand, and I would enjoy if you do it X minus 2. That go upper looping. I hope should not be on a day. It should just be upfront. The other thing that I have some trouble with is, because I run a business here, a couple of businesses. I've got my consulting firm, Mobius Consulting, and we've got Dice Society, our cafe, is the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy tends to be very complicated here, specifically because it's, even when you go, my team goes down to the government offices and they say, "What do we need to do this?" And the government office says, "I don't know, go over here." And then they go over here and they're, "No, I don't know, go over there." And then there's just all these other things, and we really want to follow the laws and follow the rules, and we do. But sometimes the bureaucracy makes it very difficult to do so. I haven't told this story a lot, but it's one of my favorite stories of Myanmar. It's actually my very first experience with Myanmar. So I told you I was backpacking for a while. Most of my backpacking involved buses and going along going through land borders. So I came in from Thailand to Myanmar. But I came in via, please excuse my pronunciation, the Ranong border, Ranong Kotong border. And I have to say I'm honored, because I'm actually the only one I've ever met who's done that. Well, me and one other person. That's what this story is about. I crossed this border, and it's a water border. Basically, I leave Ranong, get on a little boat, a small boat, like 6 people on the boat, and then we emigrate in the middle of the river that divides the countries. We're emigrating, and I'm so confused. Okay, fine. So I leave the country, leave Thailand, and then actually I'm in no man's land for a while, and I arrive at the Kotong border, or land, and I get off. And every other country in the world, what I would expect to see is there's a government official, someone there to make sure that I don't sneak into their country. And no, it's just a bunch of people milling about, a bunch of Burmese, perhaps Thai as well, Myanmar and Thai as well, milling about. And they, no one seems to care about the foreigner. So I'm looking around, and I'm like, where is immigration? How can I immigrate into this country legally? I have my documents, and I see a very tall foreigner standing there. His name is Simone, Italian guy. Quickly became one of my best friends, but basically, I'm like, I figure if anyone will know, it'll be the foreigner. I'm like, hey. And I said, where can I immigrate? And he's like, oh, come with me. And he takes me, and it's like a 5-minute walk away to the immigration office. But the hilarious thing is, I could have gotten on a bus. I could have sneaked into this country, and I could have just, for the next week, I could have just gone up the border. Not up the border, up through. I could have gone to Bay and everywhere else that I'd been, and not even immigrated legally. No one checked my document. Oh, occasionally people would ask, but really it wasn't that big of a deal. Of course, I did do it legally. It's just hilarious every time I think about the fact that I could have sneaked into this country very easily. I assume it's because the Kotong border has almost no foreigners crossing it. Maybe at the height of tourism, they probably have one every week, maybe 2. That fact that Simone happened to be there, and honestly, I love Simone. He's I met that guy on the border, and him and I traveled for a month together through Myanmar, and then I went to visit him in Italy. And we've traveled again in Thailand later, but really such an amazing guy. We traveled up to the Way together, and while we were there, we traveled down actually to Paradise Beach. So we took a bike and went down to Paradise Beach, stayed in a bungalow, and that night. There was just me, him, a very nice Italian woman, and this couple. That night, we're at the beach, and the Italian woman starts to build a bonfire on the beach. So we help her out with that, and we get it lit, and as soon as we do, it rains. And the fire goes out. And we're running from the rain, and we go inside one of the structures, and eventually it's lightning, it's raining, it's late in the night, and I say, let's go swimming. So we all run, we're just like, fine, let's run. We run into the water, and of course there's no one there to stop us. We're the only ones on the beach, and while we're there playing around, swimming, enjoying, I noticed something weird. And I say, wait, and I run back. And I grab some of the goggles, underwater goggles. Yes. And I come back and I look inside, and it's bioluminescent algae.
Oh, wow.
They're the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It's when every time the lightning flashes, the algae flash as well, and we can see it, and then we start playing with it, and I had been looking for these for years. I'd been waiting to find them, and I just randomly found them on Paradise Beach in Dway. We spent an hour in the water playing around, enjoying, and we got out when it stopped raining, and the bonfire was actually still lit for some reason, and we managed to get it going again, and then it started raining again. So we're like, okay, we're done, we're going to bed. And that night, Simone and I were sharing a room, and we were chatting, and we're like, this was a perfect night. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I want to leave because there is no way tomorrow will be as good as tonight, and I don't want tomorrow to ruin tonight. And he completely agrees, and so we say our goodbyes the next morning. And actually, I think there was only one day left that the Paradise Beach was open because it was rainy season was starting. So, and we head back up to Dway, and that's one of my favorite stories. If I'm being honest, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably somewhere around an 8. I've had some of the most amazing times in my life in Myanmar, some of the most unique experiences, but I also have had some of the most stressful times. I have to say, I really like it here. I really, despite what I said about the most stressful and some of the most depressing times of my life have been here, I enjoy it here. I wouldn't change what I've done here for the world. As far as staying here, yeah, I'm here for a while longer. It's a combination of things. One of the bigger ones being, I've got a business here, and we're trying to find new clients. We're trying to find reasons to stay here. As long as my business continues to grow, I will definitely stay here. If for any reason we fail, then I may leave. But I imagine I'm going to be here for at least another few years, and then we'll see. Shalom Aleichem. It means peace be unto you. It's a proper greeting in Hebrew, and I'm Jewish, so that's part of my culture.